Miolhrians, welcome back. We're actually here for an awesome episode, Prehistory number 2. Beyond everything else, I want to say happy holidays to everyone out there, and I hope the holiday goes well. But let's actually get into it. We have a lot to get into today. All right, just want to remind you guys, issue number 10 is available as of right now, and we are in the process of working on issue number 11. You guys are going to love some of the stuff we actually came up with on this issue as well. But beyond everything else, let's get into the next issue. Maybe let's just stick to this issue. Here we go. Okay guys, so we're finally here. The pre-issue should be quite exciting. We have a lot to get into, so I'm going to try to get directly into it. So the basics again are, this is before Miolhr's time, before any of the main characters of the actual story, which we'll be seeing more in the future. So now Miolhria actually becomes a fighting ground for a ton of people who actually have abilities which are called users. Now these users manage to develop dojos in the middle of their country or their biome to actually find out who's the strongest and who actually rules that area. Alright, so speaking of biomes, there are 5 biomes in Miolhria. Swamp, which again is mostly poison based. We have the desert, which is fire based. We have the mountains, which is ice based. We have the grasslands, which is a mix of multiple types. And last but not least, we have the wasteland, which is primarily physical, but different types of users go to this location as well. It all usually depends on the type of user who actually want to utilize their abilities against other types, or even monsters and animal types as well. Now this went on for a couple of thousand years, and to even some users actually developing abilities to become dual users, which is controlling more than one ability. Alright, now I won't get too much into the dual user type to ruin storyline for the further on issues, but I'll go through the basics with user versus dual user types. So user types are just the ability to actually control elemental types as well as all the other types, fire, water, ice, and poison. And then again there's tool, which is the ability to use a tool like a sword or bombs or any other type of material, as well as we have our physical type, which are our type that are really good when it comes to fighting styles. And then we have dual types, which are types who have the ability to control multiple types at the same time, maybe fire and ice or water and a tool type. Again, we'll explain a little bit more about this later on throughout the series. I just want to give you guys a general idea of influences of these types. As well as I also want to bring up the fact that the moons don't give them their ability, powers their ability up. So if you're a fire type and you're in the desert, you actually get more of a boost when you actually hit a lot of your moves. That's the main reason why in issue number 1, when Miolhr actually used her fire type, she actually got a boost based on the fact that it was actually fire type moon that was actually above her. Even though she technically wasn't in the desert, she still managed to get this boost. But again, we'll get more into this a little bit later on throughout the series. In almost every biome, one of these users actually controlled the biome and actually ran the entire country, which made it become more of a corrupt country rather than a country that actually was led by an oasis. Now this actually led to the current year in Miolhria. And this, again, leads us to the beginning of our story. Alright, Miolhrians, that's going to end issue number 2. Again, that was our prehistory before we jump back into the main series. Next week, we're going to jump right back in. Issue number 3, we actually have a lot to get into, getting back into the basics of Miolhria and how our main characters end up, or where they end up. I want to thank you guys again for keeping up, following tons of questions you guys managed to ask as well. Very helpful. I'm thinking about actually doing a back history number 3 as well in the next 3 or 4 episodes, maybe following up. But again, mainly coming forward if you guys have any questions. Again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe and keep up with us. We are still on Webtoons. We have a lot more coming out, especially for the next few weeks. Beyond everything else, thank you guys again, and catch you later, Miolhrians.